I guess it did. Rosanna, can you hear us?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Is the owl on? Yeah, it must.
Okay. 5 people. Let's see who we got in the waiting. Okay, he gets in.
Is the owl on?
Yeah, because it wouldn't be on the screen if it wasn't.
Are you sure? I think it's this that's on the screen.
Oh, could be.
Did I press power on that thing? Since you're up, you want to press
I
power
don't
on the
think we
owl?
have to.
Power on.
I don't think the owl's on.
I
Okay.
see something.
That's us. That's us
It's
right there.
this.
See?
But it says it's recording. Yeah, it may not, maybe the owl's not doing anything, but the owl's plugged in.
This is the other Rosanna.
Oh, because she gets.
She does. Yeah. I think it's down here, over here. See this little, is that a button? I don't know if that's a thing or not. Or maybe not. Let me go.
It's power doesn't see. Oh, no, it has a button somewhere.
I just pressed that.
But is that it?
It's not lit up.
What's that?
That's this. That's this screen.
Oh.
I know. Yeah, there should be something. It should be like moving and stuff.
Press that.
And when it comes on, it hoots. There we go.
Long enough?
I don't know, but that's a light on, isn't it? Right there?
So do you usually turn it on?
Turn it off and on again?
I think we did that one.
What, there's a plus and a minus. That just volume?
I have no idea. Okay,
Technology.
so here's the thing. I got a couple of folks here that I don't know who they are. So I don't know about letting them in.
You should mute.
If I mute, I,
YouTube.
no, because I don't know how to do that. From here.
I know, because normally it's just the thing and the
It's a thing
thing.
and it happens and it's not happening.
Let's make this big.
Okay. All right, we'll do this. So it is recording. It's not going out on YouTube, so have to be something.
And
that's
it's not,
Can you
it's not-
reverse the camera to show the person who's speaking?
no,
Can you do the,
no. Computers don't have the back of a.
they don't have a selfie? thing?
No,
Okay.
that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But this is not on.
The
Or
light's
it's not,
on, but it's
the
not,
light's on, but it's not doing what it's
it's
supposed to
plugged
do.
in, but it's not.
I've never had to operate that thing, so I don't have any idea.
Okay, we're just gonna go
All right,
ahead
well,
without it.
Yeah, it's 7.
Okay. All right, so, yeah, I apologize very much for technical difficulties. It's 7:20. We start with public hearings. We have 2. The first one is on the tax cap override. If anyone wants to
Well,
speak on that,
It's on the preliminary budget. That's what I have.
I don't
Okay.
care.
Have they been reversed?
You know what? Okay, so is anyone here to speak on tax cap override? Yes, would you please come up? Are you signed in, lady? Okay,
Yeah.
thanks. But you're here for this particular public hearing, okay. I don't have.
Ben, I have an extra. I think this one.
Hi.
Hi.
Here, whatever you want me to.
Public comment? Just public comment.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, this is public hearing, not public comment.
Public
Public
hearing.
hearing on the
tax
tax cap override.
Yeah, I want to talk about the tax.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Katie.
It doesn't
It's not
work.
working
it's not-
currently.
Nothing is-
So
it's
I can,
just-
okay, so let's
Switch.
you see
You
yourself?
can see yourself.
Yeah, I can see myself.
Okay,
Okay.
then everybody can see you too. All right, Katie, right?
Hi, my name is Katie Hamill. I can't really form an opinion on it because I feel like there's data missing, like quantitative data to make a honest, good decision. Like we say that there's costs have gone up, but there's no breakdown of why those costs have gone up. I'd like to be able to see that. Like ambulance, why do they need 200 more, like 200,000 more? I'd like to see that justified. They're a nonprofit, they get paid, they get reimbursement, so definitely, I'd like to understand with quantitative data, why we have increases at each of those. But also, more than that, I think we have a lot of room, and I just want to understand that this has been explored. There seems to be duplicated services in town departments. We have an Office of Community Wellness, we have a rec center, a rec department, we have a youth department, and they can all fall under the same banner. I don't understand why, what's the justification of having 3 different operating budgets? 3 people making, you know, the salary they should for running a department. I mean, certainly they're all under the same community budget, you know. I need to understand that that has really been explored before I can say, yeah, I'm comfortable with this 9% tax cap. You know, then we have parks and buildings. So if I want to do something with my 9-year-old, who do I call? I mean, there's like 14, really the youth centers for teens, so that's teens. But the Office of Community Wellness is also the public health officer, I believe. So I think we need to understand that we've absolutely hit every opportunity to clean it up and not have fat, so to speak. Like, why can't rec just be in the community center with that person as well? Why are we paying a whole other salary? Why, before we hire anyone else, do we have a grant writer? Are we really maximizing every dollar out there? Does every department apply for grants? I can't see that anywhere. Who has applied for grants? There's ambulance grants everywhere. There's certainly tons of grants for youth and rec and all of that. And I don't know if you have like mandates on each department. I think you should. I think everybody should have to prove that they've tried to fund their own department. Yeah, I'd really like to see that the justification for each department expense and the increases. This is just a summary, really. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie.
I'm gonna clarify what the tax cap override
Override.
is and how it's different from just
Yeah.
our tax levy.
Yeah, I think
tax
we need to,
increase.
yeah, so there is a state mandate to not increase your taxes more than 2% in a year. Oh, wait, I got it. Keep forgetting there's people out in June.
Hi, I didn't want to interrupt you. I'm so sorry, but there are a few people that are waiting in the lobby of the web cam meeting that need to be let in because they're also here for the open public part of this.
Do we have the delay so that we don't get,
I don't, I
can we
mean,
turn down the volume at least?
Do we know? We'll try to be fast.
I mean, I know.
okay, so,
Can we mute until,
yeah,
let's see someone mute it.
but see, I don't have all the, I don't know if I can do-
Everybody will mute once they're in 100%, but they should be let in. You guys have the link available for them to be a part of this section of,
Yes, we do. We just, we've had some unfortunate experiences in the past and we had the ability to do a delay and, so we'll just do this and if it gets, out of hand, we'll deal with it.
Yeah. Thank you. I
One-
so appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
We had one Zoom bomb and apparently if we get 2 more, we get kicked off of YouTube, I think it is.
Well, we're not on YouTube tonight, so that part's good. Okay, so, so what the 2% cap override is a state mandate that, any community that's doing their annual budget, if they cannot stay under a 2% increase from the previous year, they have to then pass a resolution to overcome, that they're going to override the cap. And, there's some communities that are, that manage to do it, but most don't. And I go to the Ulster County Supervisors meetings, and there's been a lot of talk that perhaps it's time this was set in place several years ago, and that maybe should go back to revisit it with the state. Is it really with inflation and everything even, that realistic? So, but by law, we're required to do it. And in this case, yes, this year we will go more than the 2%. So that's what the first public hearing is about, is that we have to do that. And the second public hearing is about the budget per se. So Katie's got a little bit combined. It's okay. No, it's okay.
I don't agree with tax cap overriding.
Okay, all right. So, is there anyone else here to, for public hearing? So public hearing is special. It's not like public comment. It becomes part of the record. And so we need your name and it'll all be part of the minutes of this meeting. It'll be part of the record. So is there anyone else here to talk about the 2% cap override? Okay, anyone out there in Zoom land? Okay, so then we will close the public hearing for the 2% cap override, and we'll go to the public hearing for the budget, for the 2025 budget.
We need to vote to close.
I don't think,
You have it later in the agenda. I
yeah,
think.
we'll do it.
Yeah, we will.
Okay, is there anyone here that wants to talk about the budget? Anyone out in Zoom land that wants to talk about the budget? Public hearing. Of what? Ma'am, it's online. Yeah, it's yeah, I didn't bring it here. We do have copies of the agenda though. Okay, okay, well, in that case, we will move on to start the meeting. Okay, so it is
Public comment?
public comment
Yeah.
comes after we start the meeting. Okay.
Pledge of allegiance.
Okay, so it's about 7:28 to start the meeting. And I'd ask that everyone stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Okey-doke. And we have a statement of acknowledgement of Indigenous land and Black labor in our community. Essie, would you like to read it today?
Sure. The town of New Paltz humbly acknowledges that we are on the traditional lands of the Munsee, Esopus, and Lenape people. The Indian Removal Act of 1830 forced the people to relocate to inhospitable territory far from the bountiful valley and valleys we inhabit today. The town further acknowledges that much of the physical structure of our town and village was built by enslaved Africans who labored as the property of their owners until 1827 on this very land. We acknowledge the contributions, resilience, and accomplishments of the BIPOC community who have overcome historic injustice to inform our past and inspire our future. Please visit the resource library on our website to learn more. We encourage residents and visitors to learn more about the contributions and sacrifices made by the Indigenous people and enslaved Africans by visiting the sites on our website.
Thank you. Do you have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved, Julie.
Second.
Edgar, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, announcements. The town offices will be closed on Monday, November 11th in observance of Veterans Day. The Recycling and Reuse Center is closed tomorrow, Friday, for paving. And they are, as usual, closed on Monday, but then because it's Veterans Day, they'll be closed on Tuesday. Leaf pickup is underway and will continue until either the first snow or no more leaves out on the, whichever comes first, no more piles of leaves. Our burn ban is still in effect, and we are also part of the drought watch for Ulster County. So please keep that in mind and be careful about open fires. Any other announcements? Julie?
I do want to just remind folks, especially those assembled, that there is composting at the landfill. And please take advantage of being able to reduce your food waste, reduce all of our waste. And I'm not sure if it's open at the community center at this point yet. Do you know, Amanda, or? It is,
It's
great.
back
So it's back open at the community center. So thanks.
Good. Anybody else? Any other announcements? Okay, thank you. All right, so now public input is your chance to talk about not those public hearings, but anything anybody in the public would like to speak about. Is there anyone here for public?
There's a whole list.
If you
Yes.
signed up, oh, shall I get the list so I can?
Yeah.
Okay,
She'll get it.
yeah, Julie. Thank you. Okay, the first one on the list is Geraldine Kelly. Hi.
No.
I'm with the.
Okay.
To address the news that the professional integrity of Phoenix Caramels and testing along with the challenging of the value of the community wellness center to our community. With only 1.255% of the $60 million budget designated for the wellness center, Phoenix Kawamoto has worked tirelessly for years to encourage and promote the well-being of the community through information, education, participation, and celebration. He's partnered with various organizations and agencies, family, the youth center, the Rotary Club, the library, the police department, the town, the village. And the primary focus of some of the programs are suicide prevention, Narcan training, and the community mental health, which is a very important aspect of it. In this, there have been a flow of information, workshops, seminars, training, and all this has gone on throughout the year. In a community where drug abuse, addiction, and overdose is an ongoing problem, this has been a vital resource. Also, in a community where we have suffered the tragedy of teen suicides, the center has been a very important resource of information and help to its people. We at Rotary have been honored to participate in the Narcan training through the Community Wellness Center. And we also participate and partner with them and other organizations like the town, the village, the police department for the Halloween parade. And we're hoping for the holiday hoopla and other events that are fun, but are important for the well-being of the community, just as the more serious issues of suicide prevention and Narcan training are. My concern is if you are primarily concerned with saving money, my suggestion is that you focus on something that's already on the table, which is maybe consolidating or expediting the consolidation of the town and village so that the taxpayers in the long run won't be paying duplicate government and administrative services. But eliminating an important service and resource for the community is not the answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, since there's a lot of folks here, we will ask everyone to try to stay within the 3-minute limit. Okay, who's next? We have Robin.
Good evening.
Hi.
My name's Robin Cohen Laval. I've lived in Newport for 51 years as a homeowner and taxpayer. And I'm a licensed mental health counselor and a 45-year prevention professional. In the late 80s, I was director of Family of Newports. I saw then the ravages of substance abuse with alcohol and drugs, untreated mental health, and suicide ideation and actions. From 1990 until last year, I was involved in AOD prevention and mental health intervention at SUNY. Ray Schwartz and I created an evidence-based award-winning program, nationally award-winning program, and Ray volunteered his time to co-create the Community Partnership Program with the town from 2005 to 2016 to bring a strong prevention presence. I know that I've heard from different service providers, the rescue squad, et cetera, that there are responses to overdoses and repeated issues around substance abuse in the town. Prevention raises consciousness. It plants seeds in young people to socialize and connect in healthy, substance-free environments. That is how we foster mental wellness and reduce suicide risk. Prevention is education, awareness, empowerment, and the validation of making healthy choices, not just surviving, but thriving together. People then share what they hear, and it's that repetition, seeing prevention tables at varieties of events, that sends a message that we care, and these folks making healthy choices are very important to the community. Investing in prevention is essential. It's like the movie, It's a Wonderful, but I think I jumped here. I want to say that in 1994, 30 years ago, I met Phoenix Kawamoto at a summer institute when we were trained by the Ulster County Council on Alcoholism and Substance Abuse. Phoenix received an MSW, worked at community agencies I collaborated with for the next 3 decades. Phoenix has been a cornerstone of your Office of Community Wellness and a consummate professional and understands prevention and how to run a program. Phoenix's efforts enable us to help people utilize, navigate through, and effectively trust the other agencies and services the town does not have to fund. It's like the movie, in the movie, It's a Wonderful Life, which asked us to see what a community would be like if a person didn't make a difference. And in this case, our prevention professionals were not doing what they do for us. In closing, prevention work is an invisible effort. It invests our resources, and we cannot put a dollar amount on the importance of fostering community wellness. Thank you.
Thank you. Jacqueline, oh, I'm sorry, Cavello? Okay,
Hi, good evening.
hi.
My name is Jacqueline Sorello and I work at SUNY. My role on campus is to focus on alcohol and substance use prevention, health promotion, and overall wellness programming. I have worked and collaborated with Phoenix in the Office of Community Wellness since I began working at the university around 8 years ago. Phoenix's knowledge and community-oriented practices have been invaluable and have allowed us to do amazing things both on campus and in the community. One piece of our work together I would like to highlight is opioid overdose prevention. Phoenix brought together many community partners to be part of the New Paltz Opioid Prevention and Response Team. This team focused on strategies, including medication return and disposal, Narcan training, and sharing treatment and recovery resources. Especially during COVID, Phoenix and the team worked diligently to transition to online trainings and mailing and hand-delivering Narcan kits to make sure those who wanted one got one. This was not only a strategy for opioid overdose prevention, but suicide prevention as well. Recently, Phoenix led the charge to install opioid emergency kit locations in the town and village of New Paltz and along the rail trail. With his help and support, we were also able to install the kits on campus in all the residence halls and in prominent buildings around campus. It is sometimes difficult in the field of prevention to measure the outcome of the strategies we utilize and services we offer. For example, someone may take a Narcan kit and save a life, but we may never know about it. Just because we not always be able to measure the outcomes does not make this work less essential. I'm hopeful, just like me, others will see that the continued support of the Office of the Community Wellness is vital to the well-being of our community.
Thank you. Joel Oppenheimer?
Good evening, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Joel Oppenheimer. I am the Assistant Director at the Psychological Counseling Center at SUNY New Paltz. I'm also a father of two, an 11-year-old and a 8-year-old here in the New Paltz community. In my role, supporting the mental health, traumas, substance abuse, sexual assault, and the overall public health issues that face the campus community and beyond, I have no stronger partner in these challenges than Phoenix Kawamoto. His expertise, experience, knowledge, and limitless compassion are a vital resource to me and to New Paltz. I was frankly shocked and insulted that Phoenix would be criticized and nitpicked at board meetings. I am angry that his staff was cut and that this would even be considered reducing his hours. This felt extremely out of line and uninformed about what the importance that Phoenix has in this community. I've worked in addiction services for over 10 years, and I can tell you that we will never know the number of lives that have been saved or impacted by the Narcan program. And for those of you who don't know, Narcan is an opioid prevention drug that anyone can carry around and use and save a life when someone is overdosing from an opioid, and that is in our community. Phoenix's relationships and resources within New Paltz and Ulster County have been vital in establishing services and providing support for the campus community. I know of no one who is working harder than Phoenix to build this community in a way that is truly inclusive, accepting, and supportive of everyone. From the university president to the chief of police to the Ulster County District Attorney, they all know and understand the importance of Phoenix's work and can rely on him as a public servant and deep resource. Over and over, year after year, Phoenix creates events and programs that bring our community together. You cannot put a price tag on this. I am sick and tired of this mentality of needing to equate some statistic to some outcome to some dollar amount. I think all of us can agree that in this time, we need to look beyond those old ways of using data points to exert power over people. And it's now time to see the humanity. As a clinical social worker myself, what I do is not based on the number of clients I see, it's based on how well I help them, which impacts others around them. This is called systems work. This is how Phoenix works. By supporting one person, one student, one relationship, he improves the community because it ripples out to impact others that we may never see. This is why Neil Battez never hesitated to support Phoenix, because we understand that it's the work you cannot count in data that makes this town and the relationships among our people become the New Paltz we want to live in. Thank you.
Thank you. Peter Riley.
Possibly clarify that was the main character.
I signed up.
in there?
I didn't know what that was. It's good.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. Neil Battez.
Maybe you don't really need to clarify.
You can- that's your-
Something.
yeah, let's-
Hi, my name is Neil Battez. I'm here not to criticize, and I'm trying to stay out of what's going on. But people I know reached out to me and they were like, Neil, what's going on with the community wellness? Like, I'm hearing about all these problems. Did you have these problems and why didn't you fix it? I never had a single problem with the program. In fact, I never had a single complaint in 8 years. I had nothing but positive feedback. And I wanted to make that statement publicly so people realize all of this that's been coming out and talking about at town board meetings, there's no basis to it. At least not on the 8 years that I was here. So, other people have talked about it. They do a better job than I do. I guarantee you, community wellness has saved people's lives. And people think like, oh, we got lucky. That's why we didn't have these problems. You don't get lucky when you avoid problems. You solve problems before they happen. And Phoenix has done that. And so I know you've already cut the budget. If you cut it again, or if you eliminate it, which is my concern, there will be problems and it's on you.
Thank you. Okay, I think we do need to clarify this. The restructuring of the personnel at the Office of Community Wellness was done with input from Phoenix. We did not do this without that input. And it was, you know, during the course of budget for everyone to look at what they could do. And this was Phoenix's contribution, and which we appreciate very much. And Phoenix also told us that he felt that this would streamline his operation and allow him to bring in whatever other competencies he thought would be useful. So this town board did not unilaterally do that. We accepted the input. Okay? All right.
Also, though, no one has discussed eliminating Phoenix's position.
Oh, no.
Never at a town board meeting.
Nope.
It's never been discussed.
Phoenix got a raise this year, just so everybody knows, like every other employee.
Something I didn't realize I signed up for.
I don't know. We should probably not.
Let me
let
let
it
everybody
discussion
get
now.
their chance. Okay, I'm
Just to
sorry.
keep
we
it-
shouldn't have done- We just wanted to clarify one thing. Okay, Matt Goodhue? Matthew,
Always write, write a.
just let everybody else
Reply.
have their chance, okay?
So I feel a little unprepared because I didn't prepare a speech, but you're all used to me standing up here and talking to you in a different capacity. Tonight I'm here also to support Phoenix. Something that I've expressed to you guys before as your rescue squad chief is our service. You don't realize how important it is until we're standing at your door, standing over your loved one, taking care of them. And I firsthand, in the 10 years I've worked in this rescue squad, all the way from the bottom of just a paramedic overnight to the CEO, I have personally seen lives saved by the opioid prevention program, the community wellness, the suicide prevention. I've seen it all firsthand. And those things you think are things you guys are not going to see. So I'm here to tell you, it has made a huge difference in this town and in saving people's lives. And it's not immeasurable, just like the work we do, can't measure it because it's not a data point that can be achieved and the people that get saved that we don't even know about. Right? I'm telling you, I've seen it firsthand, people that have been dead on the floor, their family members were able to bring back because of Narcan that was available to them and training they were given by our community. It's the ones that we're not seeing that really make the difference. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Joanna Dempsey.
My name is Joanna Dempsey. I also, from the community, I have two young boys. I think, I strongly feel that Phoenix's Office of Community Wellness plays a factor in why we have such a strong community in New Paltz. It's not without huge effort on his part, through all his events, through his presence in the community, as someone there to help if help is needed. The office acts like a salve for all the residents, not just people who need it, but people who know that it's there and it's there in case they need it or in case a neighbor or loved one needs it. The next 4 years are going to be tough and we don't know what's coming. And I want Phoenix to be able to pivot to whatever is needed in the community. This is from the last couple of days that hasn't come out. And I believe that being able to allocate, he needs to allocate, I'm seeing this through the eyes of my job, and he needs to be able to allocate work to his assistant and to Aaron so that he doesn't have to spend time on that, so he can do the real work that he does. I think that's really important, and I think if we're able to not cut his budget in any way, I think it's better. Because I think he's gonna need it in these coming years, and we want a robust Office of Community Wellness, not a weekend one.
Thank you, Joanna. Sasha Hughes. Hi.
I'm here as a parent and community member. And my experience with Phoenix has started when my daughter first started in 2020 during the pandemic to do the window painting activity that Phoenix organized. And you know, that time we were going through such isolation, especially our young people were so vulnerable, they didn't even have in-person school. And Phoenix, you know, brought us together in a safe, healthy way and brought our children together and just gave them an outlet, I mean, at a very dark time. And I'll never forget that. And, you know, my daughter's involvement and her friend's involvement with Phoenix sort of evolved from there because he really noticed their artwork and it was like he could see, you know, they have something to offer and he gave them the opportunity to offer it. And I really feel like this was so important for their development and avoiding some of that unpleasant adolescent, you know, some of the scary adolescent options and just really infusing in them because he inspired them to want to contribute. And he's inspired me to want to contribute to my community. And, you know, like many of us, I want to live in a community that I know we care about each other. And we're being taught to care about each other by Phoenix. And we're being shown how valuable it is for us. So that again, dollars aren't gonna, you know, you can't put a dollar number on that. You can't put data points on that, but that's where I want to live. And I know I'm not the only one. So thank you for your service and for listening to.
Thank you very much. Robert Lucchese. What is it?
My name is Rob Lucchese. I'm here to speak to you tonight. I watched last month's meeting and saw the comments, some of the commentary, and I was a little surprised because it was questioning the need of the Office of Community Wellness and the importance that it plays in this community. And for those who don't know, I was been with the police department since 1993, and I have worked with Phoenix Kawamoto for years. And I'm here to talk to you a little bit about how Phoenix's position came to an existence within the town, and why we did that and why that was done. So prior to Phoenix and Phoenix being part of the town municipal government, his position was part of a DFC grant. It was a 5-year grant. And I was a member of the community partnership for Safer New Paltz, and I was on the committee. We were tasked with writing and applying for another 5-year grant for Phoenix and his position. And when we began looking at that grant application, we realized that the work was very narrow in scope, and it did not align with the needs of our community at the time. There was no room for mental health. There was no room for wellness, community wellness. And we realized that that needed to be an important piece of the work that we were doing through the community partnership. For those who don't know, Community Partnership for Safer New Paltz was a group that at one point in time, correct me if I'm wrong, Phoenix had 100 members, businesses, organizations. Phoenix isn't a counselor. Phoenix is an advocate for this community. Phoenix is the hub, and we are the spokes, and Phoenix is the person that I would call and explain this is I may have a substance abuse or mental health issue that we're dealing with. Who can I speak with? And I'd be directed right to the person that I need to speak with to help solve that problem. And I think it's important that you understand there's no way to put a value on that office and on his work. It's not about how many people he sees or who avails himself of their services. I could give you the list of the programs. I mean, our drug return box here, we've had that since 2013. We now, because of Phoenix, we were able to get a Sharps kiosk. We are the only alternative Sharps disposal site in all of Ulster County because of our work with Phoenix. Phoenix put me in touch with Oasis, and we got that. I mean, there's so much work that is done, and I think, you know, you're hearing a lot of it from people who probably speak better than, or definitely speak more eloquently than I do to all of this. But I will tell you, as a community, we have been ahead of the curve because of Phoenix. I sat in a meeting in 2014 to discuss the opioid problem. And I remember sitting in that meeting and listening to speaker after speaker. And when I was done, I remember coming back to saying to Phoenix that we are ahead of the curve. And I know my time is up, so I'm just going to say one last thing. In watching that meeting, I agree with Town Council Member Rodriguez. And the fact that Rob Lucchese and Town Council Member Rodriguez agree on something should open some eyes for people. Thank you.
Thank you. Jim Tinger?
Yeah, I mean, I met Phoenix back, well, it was almost 20 years ago now, something like that. And it was interesting because we got an email from Phoenix about putting together, it's pretty much everybody who worked with young people in this town. And we met at the Old Main Courts, and we sat there and we talked about all these issues involving young people, because that was the topic of the day, and what we were going to do and what we were going to address, what were we going to do with the things that we came up with. And it was such a big day for me. I remember it vividly, and it was a long time ago. And it was just so inspiring to have somebody just kind of come out of nowhere and say, hey, what do you guys need? Like, what's going on? What can we do? And really brought all these people together and sitting in the same room with everybody who had something to do with working with young people. And instead of all of us doing our own thing and what felt like we were duplicating services and just kind of running on ice, doing our own programs, to sit in the same room with the school district, with the police department, with probation, with family department, with my program, and to work together. And that's something that hadn't been done before. And that's what Phoenix does. That's what he's been doing since then, which is identifying issues, setting up goals and seeing what they can do to kind of better our community. And it's not flashy, as everybody's been saying so well. It's not flashy. It's not something, the numbers aren't always there. My program's easier. I can tell you exactly what we do. I can give you numbers to kind of say this many people showed up to this and that. And that's not the type of thing that Phoenix does. It doesn't do direct care. But I think to have somebody who has this kind of background, this kind of education is unheard of in the community. And it may not be something that stands out to everybody. Maybe not everybody sees it, but you would sure recognize it if it didn't exist. Sure.
Phoenix.
Thank you. Hello. Good evening.
Hi.
For the record, my name is Phoenix Kawamoto and I serve the residents of New Paltz as the Community Education Coordinator. I am the department head for the Town of New Paltz's Office for Community Wellness. The name I selected for my department as a means to highlight the guiding vision and focus I was striving to achieve here. We live in a time when the tactics of misinformation, misrepresentation, innuendo, and bullying have become common practice, as well as even celebrated and misconstrued as strength. We're all familiar with it. We see it in many different circles and spaces. These tactics have impact. They can cause harm not only to the individual they are directed at, but to the community at large, as well as our society as a whole. I'm here tonight because I have been experiencing these things here, directly from a town board member. And I'm here to clear the record, to present the correct information regarding my department, its activities, and its impact, as well as do my best to protect the work that I have dedicated my entire career to for over 35 years. During that time, I have never once received a verbal warning, a complaint, a written one. I have done nothing but remain dedicated to providing exemplary service that is innovative as well as informed by science. My work is driven by passion, along with the personal experiences of heartbreak that I have experienced throughout the various periods of my life's journey. It's personal. The visionary work that has taken place here has been sought out and replicated throughout Ulster County, Delaware County, and within the Mid-Hudson region. I have provided support to other prevention organizations who have contacted me from Albany to North Texas. And I stand here as someone who has cultivated and earned the respect, and more importantly, the trust of my colleagues. Youth, parents, clergy, local government leaders, and school administrators. I also stand here before you to say that these tactics have in fact impacted me emotionally and even physically as of late. But worse than that, they have begun to create doubt and suspicion for a program and resource that has served this community for almost 13 years. 5 years as a federally funded drug-free communities grant project, and the last 8 years as a model program unique to the municipality of New Paltz, a community I love. Now I'm going to pause for a second because I know my time is up. However, the October 17th meeting, there was over 40 minutes of discussion about me and my program, and I was not here to answer questions, and misinformation was stated, and I'm going to use my voice now if I have your permission.
Yes.
Thank you. When elected officials sitting at a table charged with serving the public trust say, and please forgive me as I paraphrase a recent comment made by Deputy Supervisor Kitty Brown, I know he has provided a few free fun events and handed out some hats, and went on to simply to imply that I do not do much of anything, and then states it's not his fault because we as a board are not doing our jobs because we are not supervising him. That is egregious behavior. This has been coupled with repeated unwarranted and slanderous accusatory questions pertaining to what I do with cash donations. When I have stated the truth again and again, and there are fiscal records to back it up. Yes, it is true that these are personal insults that can inflict harm to someone personally, as well as professionally. It has been deeply distressing and creates unnecessary risk of damage to my professional reputation and future livelihood. And worse than that, though, it sows seeds of doubt in the minds of this community. When someone who may be experiencing hardship or heartbreak and who may have actually been considering to take that brave step of reaching out for help, they may tell others, don't bother, they don't really do anything. The misrepresentation and the use of disparaging innuendo directed at my character is now part of the public record via YouTube recordings for any and all to see, thereby creating a risk to public health and safety. To some, this may sound hyperbolic or over the top. However, those of us in this field of community outreach and education, as well as so many other fields, know that our success in reaching and helping the people we are here to serve greatly depends on the trust we have earned, public trust. I have dedicated myself in the last 13 years here in New Paltz to listening and working across different sectors within this community to create options, resources, and opportunities to meet the physical, emotional, and recreational needs that are vital to an individual's well-being. They also give support while supporting their sense of purpose and the feeling of being connected and cared for at a time when loneliness and isolation are at epidemic proportions. We know at the core, isolation and loneliness affect every aspect of our health and well-being. The science proves it. It cuts across all of our communities and age groups, currently impacting our youth and seniors the most. We are social beings who depend on being a part of and feeling cared for. And it has been my mission to help facilitate and co-create that with every single partner and person I have worked with in this community, county, and region. I can give you the numbers you request, as I have already done. And yet when I do, the information, the facts, the science elicits an eye roll. And again, to paraphrase, said during the October 17th meeting, oh yeah, the data. There was a lot of data. When responding to Mr. Rodriguez's mention of the thorough annual report that I had written for the work provided by the OCW in 2023. When a board member is allowed to continually disparage somebody's professional reputation and capacity because of the table they were elected to sit at within the community at large, or at in a private Facebook chat group with community stakeholders, that is wrong. And it is my hope and request that as a governing body and as a community, there will be some discussion and examination of what has taken place at this table and enacted to help prevent this from happening to anyone else. I am the only department head or town employee who has been subjected to this treatment, and I have been quiet about it up until now, as I truly struggle with and avoid conflict and confrontation. I hate it. Viewing the video of the October 17th board meeting has changed me. This should not happen to anyone or any program that is working hard to serve the community and every member in it. The last item I need to correct for the public record relates to the restructuring plan I submitted soon after the request for department heads was made to reduce costs wherever possible. Upon reviewing the unmet areas of need in this community, I worked hard to find a solution that reduce the cost of my budget request and increase our outreach capacity. This was challenging. But the newly modified budget requests were voted on and approved during the October 3rd board meeting. However, at the end of the October 17th meeting, the two highly qualified, vitally important contractors whom I have been working with for a few years were deemed unnecessary. The status of my request and the ability of this program to continue and exist are in your hands. The savings to the taxpayer as a result of this restructuring plan that, yes, I voluntarily created, and for good reasons. That restructuring plan saves the taxpayer approximately a total of $41,000, a 16% decrease in my total budget request from $175,449 to $154,049. It provided the following changes: a reduction of the community relations specialist position to part-time, an increase to the contractual line for a bilingual, bicultural interpreter, and a modest increase to the social media outreach person who provides support, who has to date helped the OCW reach over 70,000 individuals. Excuse me, I'm really sorry. I'm wrapping up. And I wouldn't be here if I had not been attacked. The support has helped me reach across many different divides within this community, as well as engage young adults. The deputy supervisor has questioned the use of my judgment in the use of video and suggested I post weekly press releases in its place. And I guarantee you that if I were to do as I have been asked or it was suggested, we would no longer reach the majority of those who are engaging in our video content. Should you as a board decide to remove the suggested additional $36,000 for those two contractual people from my budget that would pay for these vital services, this department would be decimated and end up with a 56% decrease. The current budget of the OCW is 1.189% of the total currently proposed $13 million budget. I do not understand why this is being considered or potentially allowed. I do not know why I'm the only department head who is asked to present his initial budget during a live town board meeting when it had never been asked of me before in 12 plus years here, nor was any other department head asked to do it after me. Given everything I alone have had to endure this year, I am left wondering why me and my department have been singled out and come under such attack. Particularly when recognized as a respected leader among my peers within my profession. Without question, I will continue to do my best to meet the needs of the New Paltz community with the high standards of professional attention that I have followed for my entire career and I am known for, despite what has become a toxic work environment. Additionally, I will continue to meet with you to discuss and address emerging needs within the community by helping to identify local resources which may provide support, as well as coordinate and facilitate the high quality and model programming that this department has become known for. I remain grateful to serve this community and to work with such an amazing group of dedicated professionals who help make magic happen here. Respectfully, Phoenix College.
Thank you, Timmy.
Thank you.
Katie, you're on the list again.
Sorry?
Katie, your name is on the list.
Oh, yeah, I didn't come here for this. And I didn't see that meeting, but I take, as a town taxpayer, I take offense to people saying that our town board should not question budgeted departments. Yes, they should. That's their job. That's why they're elected. You should do it to all the departments. Everyone should have the answer for every tax dollar they spend. And if the budget's going up from something that originally started as a grant funded program, program, then yes, you even you have to look further and understand where they're spending that money. I will say, I myself questioned what the Office of Community Wellness was. I'm sorry, and then I met you, but, why aren't we in the Facebook group? The neighborhood, the New Paltz one that's 19,000 people. I asked you, you're like, I'm working on that. I think you should also join the PTA groups, because that's how you get to the parents.
Is this like I don't
No, people are here saying like, oh, especially him, he pays a lot of money towards a social media person, but he's not even, he's sending up to other people.
Okay, we-
It's
okay.
Sure, I'll look this way, but, I think if, opioid, prevention, of course, is unbelievably important, that's vital work. I appreciate all the SUNY people that were here now, I mean, that's great, he's on the campus, but I will say as a parent, if somebody's asking for a raise, a bigger thing in the budget, please look deep. Please don't just grant it, no matter what the work is in every department, because people aren't multi and, and maximize every grant dollar, every opportunity and look under every rock. And maybe do a community survey so it's more fair. You don't, it's feedback from the whole community. But definitely don't hesitate to question spending money.
Tammy, Friedman?
I just want to say, as a citizen in this town since 2003, and also a volunteer in this area for many years at the college, and also in a committee in this town and village, which was dismantled, and it was volunteer to help clean the streets and stuff like that. I also was responsible for starting 12-step meetings in this community, which is also voluntary. And as a recovering person for 40 years, clean and sober, 40 years, the only way somebody gets clean and sober is if they want it. They have to want it. And you have to find a meeting, and they're free. You don't have to pay $200,000 a year to find a meeting for somebody or to help somebody in need. This is a free 12-step service. We have 2 meetings in this town that are for adult children of dysfunctional families, and there are multiple AA, NA, and other meetings. Using Narcan is not preventative. That is devastating for an addict. There are more deaths in this town now than there ever was. Narcan is not an answer and never, ever was an answer. It's the avoidance of a death. That's all it is.
Wait,
Okay,
you're rude.
everybody,
Okay.
y'all,
Okay.
please, okay, just talk this way, Tammy, okay, talk to.
Addiction is something that people need to reach out and get help for. You have to want it. You don't have to pay for it. You have to want it and seek it out. Every police officer is trained in Narcan. We don't need people that get paid to give out Narcan.
This is, okay.
We need more 12-step meetings in this town, which are free and voluntary. There's a million places for sale. Every other building is for sale in this village, which is falling apart, which is a whole other issue.
Okay, thank you very much.
So I'm very against, and also just regarding the budget, which I'd like to talk about briefly, this budget is completely bloated. It doesn't make sense. There's a firehouse that cost, I don't know, millions, which is completely vacant. No one's even there. So where is the money going? Seriously, where is the money going? Doesn't make sense.
Thank you, ma'am. Eliza Che, I'm sorry if I got that wrong. Eliza? How do you say this?
It's Elisa Che.
Elisa Che, I totally agree. Okay.
Good evening. Thank you for accepting public comment today. I'm Elisa Che. I'm a resident in New Paltz and I'm a mom. Sure. I'm a parent of a middle school child who's my daughter, and we're here to speak on behalf of this great program that makes the community unique and a place that is enjoyable and a paragon to live in a lot of ways. And I think this program contributes so much to that. I first met Phoenix through a window painting program, which you heard about from another parent. And this was about 3 years ago, during COVID. And it was a really rough time. I was surprised, pleasantly surprised to see that the town was doing something to get people together and offering events like this. There have continually been events through the year along these lines, and I think that the town is really lucky to have somebody like Phoenix who truly, truly cares about what he does and goes the extra mile to connect people and to make it feel like a community, and it's truly open to everybody. That's not something that you can just find easily. So I think when I heard what was going on, I was surprised, and I don't even know what I'm doing here to speak, because I find it a bit crazy that this needs to be defended. So I would just say, please really think about what would be lost through this. And as you've heard from others, you can't put a price on this. So if the lens is purely a fiscal thing, then that is the wrong way to look at it. And I think you've heard from others here tonight that really support other things that are really important for the community. So I really hope that that isn't lost. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that's all the names that are on the list. We have some people. That was all the names that were on the list for public input. Well, so we've got people that you can sign up. We've got people, yeah, okay. Christina, would you like to start?
I didn't have anything planned. All I have to say is that I have just been introduced to Phoenix Kamamoto 2 years ago, and that is my cousin, and I have watched the amazing dedication and work that this man has brought to your community, which I am not a part of. I am in Greene County, and I am so proud of the work that he has brought to your community, the support that he's brought to your children, the importance of training not only police officials and everyone else in the community on how to properly use Narcan, because it may be something that is a life-saving moment for somebody that then changes them to ask for the help and ask for the 12-step programs in the community. So with that all being said, we are so proud of you, Phoenix. I'm so proud of the work that you've done, and these people are here to support you. And I'm so blessed that you are part of this family. Congratulations on standing up.
Thank you. Maria Laporta? Are you there, Maria? No? Can you, if you're there, do you realize you're muted? Okay, I guess we've lost Maria. Nope, that was fine. Okay, there was, where did it go? There were some other folks. We have a couple other folks. Erica Bushell, are you, would you like to, let me get you going. Okay, Erica. Let me just give her a sec. Connecting to audio.
Maybe that one, maybe that.
All right. Erica, are you there?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Did you want to speak at public hearing?
Oh, no, I just wanted to watch it.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. I can't make that happen.
No, I think only if their hand is raised, maybe. You just ask them to raise their hand if they want to speak.
Okay. Mercy 777 Tree. Does anyone else out there on the Zoom want to raise their hand if they want to speak? No? Okay, very good. Okay, did, we had someone else still up in the, okay, would you like to? Sure. That's okay.
My name is Maggie Bebet. I'm resident of New Falls. And I'm here to speak on behalf of Phoenix's program and the impact that Phoenix has had on our life.
Oh, wait.
I will say very, very briefly, that the board is looking at the wrong place. You know, it's not a place to be looking at saving $30,000, $40,000 in a program that's really small. The budget is large. You're looking at the wrong place because you're not looking at the bigger picture items. My understanding, and what I've seen from the budget that's viewed publicly, is that this is the youth program and the program, the community wellness program, were the only two programs that really made a cut. And we're asked to make more and more cuts. And I think that that is absurd, given the context. It's a very small program. But I will say on a personal note, and I don't have to cry about it now, I'm over it. Phoenix brought joy to my son's life when he was alive. And Phoenix, thank you. Thank you. Because there was a time in his life that things were dark, and she gave him an avenue to do something productive with his time to make him feel like it was worth living. So I have to tell you, you're looking at the wrong place. And I say that from a community person who is afraid of taxes. The $14,000 that I pay in taxes is hurtful to me. But you know what? You can't save a life. You can't give value of a life to whether it's $14,000 or $14,200. And I have to tell you that they make a difference. That office makes a difference in ways that you can't count. I don't usually agree with Rob, but you know, the intangible things in this office can't be measured. So please keep that in mind. Don't cut. Give them more than they ask for. In this country, we give more to the military than they ask for. Why are we trying to cut such a valuable program? Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we don't have anyone else. All right, so we don't have anyone else here for public comments. I want to please remind everyone we haven't finished our budget discussions, but we're very close, and that's part of the meeting tonight, and you will see where we are with it. And I can tell you that when we saw the first pass of the budget, it was way more than we are right now. And I asked every department to look hard at what they could do, what they could contribute, you know, realizing that everyone wants to do their job to their best ability, and everyone wants the resources to do their job as best or better than they have been. But I asked people to look hard, and everyone did respond. And we didn't pick on any one thing, you know, so people gave what they could. And we appreciate that very much, because we do care about what our taxpayers, you know, are having to support. And we do have wonderful services here in New Paltz. And that's what government does. We provide services, and we want to make sure that we're able to do that. Yes, sir.
Out of respect for the comments that have been made tonight, I feel I'm going to make a motion that we go into a short executive session to discuss the work history of a certain individual. I think we owe that to the community. I think we need to show them that we heard them and that we will consider what they're saying. And so I'd like to make a motion that immediately we go into an executive session to discuss the history of a particular employee of our town board.
Do you have a second?
Second?
That's Julie, Rosanna. Any discussion? Then let's go.
Oh, for discussion, just for the people who are sitting in the office, in the audience, there is no cut to the community wellness budget that you will see tonight. We gave Phoenix a well-deserved raise. There was discussion about whether or not we needed to hire a videographer. There was
think
some
we
discussion
should
about cutting that line. We put it all back in. We also
We never took it out.
added, I think it was $4,000 that the youth program had requested in its contractual line. So, you know, if you want to stay for the rest of the meeting, that's great, but don't go home thinking that either of those programs is going to experience any kind of budget cut.
In fact, the youth program, we are giving some additional manpower to, so that's part of the last item of revision that I'm bringing to this board tonight on the budget. And we will show it all to you, but if we need to go briefly into executive discussion, okay. Bear with us, folks.
Do we have to mute this or we?
I don't know how to do, mute it. There we go.
Amanda, you have to unmute.
Okay, thank you, Rosanna. We made and voted on motion to come out of executive session. I made the motion and Kitty seconded, no, excuse me, Julie seconded, and we're out of executive session. Okay, we're all back here now. So we just want to thank everyone who showed up tonight for your comments and your input on everything. We need to hear from everyone. We care about what our public's thinking about and wants to talk to us. We welcome you to come to all our meetings and tell us what you're thinking about. We want to make it clear that there was never an intention to discuss an employee, a particular person or performance in public at a board meeting. It was focused on budget items. Unfortunately, if there's a department of one, it becomes personal, and that was not, perhaps we weren't being very sensitive or aware of that. So, but this board is expected to look at and challenge budget items, and we have looked at many departments and challenged them and asked, you know, I see a head nodding back there. Yes. And it's not always fun to have to defend what you need and want, and everyone gets passionate about their work, and we recognize that and we appreciate it because we have good people working in this community. So, but we also need to pay attention to what it's costing people to do it. So it's hard to balance that, folks. It's really hard to balance it.
Amanda, I'd like to make a comment.
Yes, sir.
As we board member, making a commitment to meet to visit all the facilities that we have in our town board, and during the coming year, to meet with all the heads of the department and to examine their budgets carefully and in great detail so that I have a real understanding of it. And I think that the idea of looking at budgets, as you pointed out, should be clearly across the board to all the departments. Because what we have right now, this situation was a budget of about $150,000. And when that night occurred, we had a graph here that showed that the biggest department is the police department with $5 million. And so the question for me becomes now, why, we need to look at every department. And if you're talking about micromanaging departments, then we need to examine each department carefully and the budget. I commit myself to doing that during the coming year and to be fully prepared for the next budget. And the other thing that can occur, to remind the public, is that we can make budget modifications. And I am very concerned. I heard people here with tears tonight, not only about Phoenix, but worried about what's going to happen with the national government, what impact it may have in New Paltz, and how we may need to look at our resources. Because if they start deporting people from New Paltz that take care of our children, that work in our restaurants, that cut, the grass, doing construction, just as one example, that will have an impact on the well-being of our community. And I suspect that we may have to increase the allocations in those areas to meet what I believe will be a crisis in our community in the coming months.
All right, so very emotional meeting so far. Let's see if we can try to calm it down a little bit and get back to we have a lot of business to take care of.
Do we need to clarify that what Kitty said, before the meeting, before our executive session does stand, that nothing.
There have been no further cuts to any department's budget. In fact, there is one small increase that we will finalize tonight. And so where we are from where we started with an increase of 9.2% is down to 6.84% increase over last year.
So as far as Phoenix's budget, though, there's no cut to the thing that
Nothing
Phoenix
changed.
wanted to do.
Nothing changed.
That if there's certain funds were requested, no cuts were made to what Phoenix requested. Correct.
Right, no cuts were made. other than
Except
what
the
Phoenix
videographer and the
requested. Right.
translation.
No, that was not, no changes.
Contractor.
Okay. All right.
And there was never any discussion of eliminating that department. Don't know where that came from.
Okay, all right, so.
Is Peter
Okay.
Riley here?
So we're, okay, Thank you,
Peter
Peter.
Riley.
Peter.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay,
You
this is,
still even want to join us?
well, he doesn't want to
You're
join
hired.
us. He's not. Okay, so Peter Riley is here because we have an opening on the ethics board. Would you like to take a seat?
Sure.
Okay. And, okay,
How do you? Hi.
so thank you for coming and for wanting to step up and be part of our community and community service here.
Thank you.
So I saw your letter of intent. We all saw your letter of intent, right? And would you like to tell us why you want to be on the ethics board?
Well, it, like so many things, it all started in the bleachers of a baseball game with Mary Woodburn.
Okay.
And I think Mary is the chair of the ethics committee. And our boys are on the same baseball team. So we've been sitting next to each other with Cole Bottoms for 4 or 5 years now. And got to know each other. And then she brought it up and she said, hey, would you consider working or participating as a volunteer on the ethics committee? And I think it's a great thing to volunteer. And I said, sure, I'll step up.
Tell me what your understanding of the roles and responsibilities of the ethics board is.
Well, my understanding is that, first of all, it's a volunteer position. And if there were ever to be, let's say, a conflict of interest in the town government or maybe between different departments in the town, and they wanted to have outside group, but that's not outside, but that's from the town, sit down and talk about it and think about the morality of what's going on and the ethical dilemma, to sit down and maybe form an opinion or opine on that. And so that's my understanding of what it is.
Do you know how often the board meets?
Very infrequently, and that was attractive to me, to be quite honest. Because I'd like to volunteer, but I don't want it to be an every week type of thing.
Right. Do you, so what would you think are your qualifications for being on the ethics board?
Well, I knew you were gonna ask that, and I think the best way to what people are often is what they do. I worked for 25 years in the financial services industry in New York City. And you can check out my record. You can go online, FINRA, which is the regulatory authority of all financial professionals. If you put in my full name, which I'll be happy, Peter William Riley, right there, you can pull it up.
Okay.
So I worked at all the big banks. I worked at Citibank, I worked at JP Morgan, I worked at Citibank, I worked at Smith Barney, and I worked at Morgan Stanley. That's where I finished my career, 15 years there. And in those 25 years, I never had one complaint as a financial advisor. And a big part of why I was very successful is that because my mother raised me a Catholic, God damn it.
It's been nuns, been nuns.
Right? And so there was a, if you do things in an ethical way, in a moral way in that business, you can be hugely successful. And that's what happened to me. And so I feel like 25 years of that kind of prepared me for this, if you will.
Okay. I'm not quite sure what the ethics board level of, like, they coming back and make a recommendation, or they can actually make a legally binding decision.
Right, advisory opinion.
Advisory opinions. Okay.
That comes to the board.
It comes to the board.
Then we decide.
Okay, very good. So it's actually a board decision that would then, if it's challenged, the challenge goes to the board, not to us. Okay, very good. All right.
Yeah, there's no responsibility.
Well,
And unless one legal responsibility.
okay, because otherwise you get a room full of people.
Oh, yeah.
That can always still happen, so.
That's
Yeah.
impossible. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, anyone else have
Okay.
questions?
I just was wondering why you wanted to be on the board. Or on this committee.
Well, we're new to New Paltz. We moved here 5 years ago now. And I'm a big believer in community service. My son's working as a volunteer for the fire department. And I want to set a good example for him.
So if you have additional time, we can use the financial expert on
Well,
our budget. task
Clearly.
force.
Well,
Wow.
Keep that.
okay.
It's like one thing at a
I don't
time.
know if I'm a financial expert,
Well,
but I do have an eye. So I'd be happy to look and participate
we
and,
just got them on ethics.
yeah,
Right, down the line.
yeah.
We really appreciate that. Did you have any questions for Peter?
No, I mean, you met with Mary and it's
Yes,
very hard to say no to Mary.
it sure is. And our sons are friends and I know Keith well as well. You know, when you're hanging out by the sports places for a lot of years, you get to know people very well, and that was a blessing. So and I just think it's a good way to give back to the community. And it's not really a huge time commitment, but it's interesting. And it could lead to some interesting discussions.
And other interests.
Julie, do you
Yes.
have any questions for Peter?
Covered it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
We appreciate your
Thank you.
interest.
Thank you.
Everybody needs a bio break. Okie dokie. Okay, so it just so happens that, we go through dry spells and then all of a sudden we've hit like a woohoo. We have had a number of people offer to be involved with different, so we have two people who sent in, we have for Bike Ped Committee, we have the Ethics Board, we have some for the Zoning Board of Appeals. We had, I think 3 for the Environmental Conservation Board. So this is pretty exciting that folks are, sort of, maybe it's got to do with feeling like wanting to get involved and, make a difference and so forth. But so we will be setting up interviews. This was our first one today. And all of these letters of interest and whatever CVs have been made available have gone out to the chairs of these different committees. And so we're, hoping that they will take a look at them and, if they feel like, meeting the people and whatever beforehand, but we are going to start to arrange these interviews beginning with our next meeting on November 21st. So we will be inviting some of these folks to come in.
Amanda, I didn't hear, police commission, any inquiries for the police
No.
commission?
No,
Okay.
So-
Remind the
and we
public
still
that-
have another for ethics too.
Right.
Another
Second person for
vacancy.
ethics. Oh, we have another vacancy.
Yeah. Which one?
For the police commission?
Yeah, Bill, if you was, late back and.
Okay, they need to submit a letter of interest.
Okay, this is in the paper every week, folks, that we have these, openings on all these different places. So if you know anybody in the community, look at how this one happened, right? So talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors, talk to whoever you know.
Encourage them, send them our way.
Yep.
Hmm.
I don't do Facebook.
I was gonna say I'm not on social media either.
Okay,
a
okay,
good
so
point,
that's
though.
what's gonna happen. We will be bringing folks in from these other, for these other committees, starting next meeting as, as they're available, we'll ask them to come in. Okay, moving on. We have, I have a motion to accept the resignation of Officer Tyler White, effective 11:01 PM on October 27th, 2024. Do I have a second?
Second, Kitty.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Accepting the resignation of one of the police officers.
Okay, thank you. Next item, accept the resignation of Officer Jeremiah Childs, effective 11:01 PM on October 27th, 2024. Do I have a second?
Second, Kitty.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Just, a question, the vote retroactive to October 27th, is that typical?
Yes. This is the first meeting after we got the letters.
Okay.
Okay. Approve Chief Sutton's request to hire Miles Barrington as a part-time officer effective November 8th, 2024 at the collective bargaining agreement starting for a part-time officer pay rate. Do I have a second?
Second, Julie.
Discussion?
Can the chief tell us anything about
Yeah.
him?
Would you like to? Oh, come on up.
Well, you're coming up and
Okay.
This is local, he grew up in Highland, he moved to Marlboro, he graduated from Marlboro High School. He interviewed with us at the police department and along with the police commission last month at their last meeting. He's currently in phase 1 of the police academy, which if you don't know, the academy is in 2 separate phases. The first phase you can send yourself to, the second phase you have to be hired by a police department. So the second phase starts on November 13th. So that's why we're hoping to get him in tonight to get approved and get him set to go for next Wednesday.
So he's phase 1.
He's currently phase 1, so the way they do it, he's going to a full-time one. They do a full-time one once a year, and then they do a part-time one.
Yeah.
With the full-time one, they actually embed phase 2 into phase 1. So if he wasn't hired by an agency, he would just get 3 weeks until phase 1 picks back up again. So as long as he gets hired, he'll graduate with both phase 1 and phase 2. I believe the graduation is December 12th, and then he would start our field training.
So he's effective November 8, as in we're paying for police academy or second phase? How does that work?
He would start getting paid on the 13th, November 13th.
Okay. Through the rest of the academy.
Through, yeah, then he would graduate. Phase 2 goes up until December 6th, and then there's just 5 days left of phase 1.
Okay. So this, but he's part-time.
Correct, yeah, this is as a part-time.
Right. There is a part in the police contract that if we pay for some of their training and they leave before so much time that they repay it. So it's there. Okay, now this one is one where the recommendations coming through the police commission. They've already seen this gentleman, spoke to him, seen his background, which we maybe have not.
Did they provide a written recommendation?
They did. They did. Oh, the cord must have. I don't know what happened. Wait, it was the cord. No, yeah. Oh, it's from the turning.
All the turning. Okay.
That,
years ago?
no,
came up
oh,
with
okay,
the
no,
evidence.
but that's still not on
Yeah.
there.
Oh, what? Why did it do it again?
Oh, there it is.
Okay, it's this wacky thing.
Now we gotta keep.
Okay,
Amanda, I want to complete my point.
yes.
So the police commission did a written recommendation. You saw it, but we, as board members, we haven't, I think it should be part of the package for us.
I also feel like we should have the opportunity to be a part of the interview, so before you send them to police commission, letting us know that, and sending us the resume ahead of time so that we can also, if we can, be a part of it.
So basically, what we
Somebody
do
from
is
the
we
town
accept,
board should
we
be
can
on.
accept their recommendation, or we
Right.
appreciate the recommendation, but ultimately this is a town employee.
Right, that
that
we're
is-
responsible for.
Yes, and that
Yes.
we will be paying, so we do have to have, I know this is hard. This back and
just
forth
like-
between the
Just
commission and the
like
board.
to maybe ask that in this situation, we approve him, because if he doesn't get approved tonight, he doesn't get hired by the New Falls Police Department. Because there's not another meeting, there's not another opportunity before phase 2 starts on.
It's
No,
fair, that's fair.
we understand that point, but we're just saying going forward, because we've
yeah,
had
from
other
moving forward,
things where it's
that's
like, let's
absolutely-
hurry up and rush and do this, and we need to be doing these things properly because we are responsible for them.
Right,
So-
okay. Right,
Okay.
okay, so
Anything else?
this was discussion, and are we ready to vote? Or do you have more questions?
No.
No, I'm good.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Okay, on the consent agenda, we have the approval of the minutes from the last meeting, October 17th, and we have authorization to approve Katie's resignation as the Chair of Housing and Smart Communities. Do I have a motion, we can accept the consent agenda. Do I have a second? So hard to keep.
Second.
Oh, thank you.
No, I'm not going, I have to abstain because I wasn't here for the October 17th meeting.
Oh, for the minutes?
Yeah.
Did you read them?
Yeah. So that's fine. It's still, I can't verify that they're the same. I did not watch the recording.
Okay.
I don't.
All right, so that's fine. So, all in favor?
Um,
And one abstention. All right. Authorization to approve the building department hiring, do we still have time? Yes. Hiring Justin Bowe as a full-time municipal code officer building inspector one provisional at the rate of $25 per hour with a start date of November 12th. Do I have a motion to,
This is, recommendation of Tom,
we'll talk to Tom in discussion. So if you want to,
but
I'd like to, would you need a second?
yeah,
I'd like to second it, Julie.
okay, that was Julie. So Tom, would you like to tell us anything about this gentleman?
This is Justin, correct?
Yes.
He is very highly qualified. He's been a contractor the better part of 25 plus years. He's already started his code certification classes, so he'll be a certified and experienced code enforcement officer in the coming months. And under Department of State regulations, we're allowed to hire him as he gets a certification. He's still eligible and able to enforce all the town code regulations with his appointment. And really excited to have him on board. And it's a big step in a positive direction for the building department.
So Tom, two things. One is this position was already in your budget, right? We're not adding
Correct.
anything?
This
Okay.
was a budgeted position that was vacant for the better part of the year. So it's just kind of been me full-time and Mr. Kitchen is a part-time employee. So this is just bringing it up to the budgeted number of individuals there for personnel.
Okay, and did you speak to county about the eligibility criteria?
I did. I received confirmation as of yesterday that both individuals are qualified for the titles that they're being hopefully appointed to tonight.
Okay.
You, Justin, I think I might know. Have met him. Did you know Justin before the appointment? Or
I did
before not appointment, but the interview. Just, I hope that's not inappropriate. Amanda, is that inappropriate?
I don't think it's an inappropriate question. I did not know him.
Okay. I didn't mean it to be inappropriate if that's.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No, it's.
I don't think it's inappropriate.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay,
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead, Edgar.
It's the same question again. Did you receive a written recommendation from the head of that department?
That is the head of the department.
Okay, that's what I'm saying, but did you get a written recommendation?
Essentially, because he gave this to us, yes.
Okay, I think that should be shared with the board. as
No,
part of the package.
it is.
It
was
is,
in
that
the-
is, yeah.
I don't see.
It's in the packet, the portal.
It's in the
I
package on
went
the
over it.
portal.
I actually printed it all out.
I thought I saw that.
Which item was it?
In our.
If you have one.
It is.
portal.
I know.
It is.
I think, Edgar, I think they were in the,
right here.
board portal.
It's this one.
This is one of the things from him, so maybe it's in with this one. There were a few things from him.
We got memos from Tom in
Yeah,
our.
I printed everything that was on the portal. Oh, but yes, I saw that, but I think that we should become familiar with the employees and we should have more information on them. Maybe a copy of a resume or something as we,
Don't we usually?
Mhm.
We usually do. Historically, anyway.
so as we go forward, I think that I should be.
Okay.
It becomes,
Yeah.
memorializing, becoming familiar with it and.
We
Yeah.
don't interview employees, we
Right,
interview
we do.
appointments,
Right.
yeah. I mean, the departments have some autonomy. Yeah, I mean, they know the qualifications that are required. Okay, all right, going forward, we can ask for a copy of the CV or whatever the
Yeah, something that
application
that
was.
gives us a picture of the individual.
Right, okay.
Hi, Tom. Do we want to admit?
We're gonna turn the camera on.
But she's on our.
Kevin Flores.
Oh,
She works for,
There's a
Jim,
question
youth
about
group, yeah.
the qualifications. Could he maybe be asked to just give
gone.
one or two reasons he feels this is a good fit?
Okay.
Sure. Or
well,
tell
I
us,
think, I thought
he did just
did.
tell us
Oh,
about
okay.
it.
I mean,
25 years experience.
That's
Yep.
true.
Contractor.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's true. He did. So if
Where-
there's any more.
Where else did he work in any municipality before, Tom?
He has not. He has a bachelor's degree in biology from SUNY New Paltz. So not to divulge too much information, but I did ask him a fair handful of technical code questions, to which he very clearly had a very fantastic understanding of the code as somebody who works with it every day. And he's excited and looking forward to coming on board and having the consistency and being a part of the New Paltz community. So like a really good fit for the town.
Can you tell me how many people showed up on the civil service list for this position?
The test, let's see, civil service initially canvassed the test when we were or the results rather, when we were looking to fill the position, and nobody responded. So trying to think if there were probably 10 or 11 people on that list. And my best guess is that they were all employed with other municipalities and were not willing to come over and accept a position in New Paltz.
And the expected hours is it, because it's hourly, is it expected, it's how many hours a week?
It's full-time.
Full-time,
It's
so
And that hourly rate is what's set out by the union contract.
So,
meaning 40 hours a week.
yeah,
40 hours a week, yes.
our building office is open from 8 to 4:30, and the code enforcement officers are typically out in the morning and the afternoon, but they have a period of time in the morning, in the middle of the day when they're there, if they, someone needs to come in and talk to them, but they're out in the field most of the time. Okay.
Amanda, just a question, process. So both candidates are provisional for the civil servant. So once that they get classified or pass the test, then they will come up for an appointment again, a permanent appointment?
Right.
So there'll be 2 rounds, provisional and then permanent again. Okay.
Right.
Is there an evaluation that takes place between the provisional and the permanent?
It's the test.
And if I could interject too, the employee,
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Tom.
I would just say the employee is probationary with the town for the first 6 months.
Okay.
Dependent on when the civil service test is offered, that would be their provisional to permanent appointment pending they pass the test and score top 3.
Thank you for the clarification.
So did we vote on this position? I don't think so. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, great. All right, the next one is also for Tom, authorization to approve the building department hiring Christian Kitchen as a full-time fire inspector. 1, I believe, provisional, it's not here, but it's 1, correct? Oh, there's no 1, it's just fire inspector. Provisional at the rate of $25 per hour with a start date of November 12th, 2024. Do I have a motion?
So moved, Kitty.
Second, Amanda. Discussion. Now, I can tell you that this is a person who has been working part-time. So Christian Kitchen has been on the staff. He's been there as long as I have. And so this is again, Tom, but this is again fulfilling the manpower of that department that's been budgeted for and been missing. And therefore we have not been doing the full, blown job that we need to do. So this is great that we'll be able to start doing this work. Do you have any questions for Tom? Okay, now Christian took a test, but not this test, right? Or is there a test?
Civil service will eventually offer a test. There's no standing list for the fire inspector position.
Okay. Very good. Any other questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, great, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Doing a great job getting us up to speed. Thank you.
Just slow and steady. Point 2 for you.
Tom has another item here, this is one for everybody to try and understand. So the authorization to approve removing section 2E from chapter 110 of the town code. Do I have a motion?
So moved, Julie.
Second, Amanda. Discussion. Tom, would you like to take us through this one?
I would, and I'd like to, I see there was a little bit of a disconnect in the way that the resolution, this is kind of a jumping off point, and it's for your consideration I'm not asking for removal tonight. Obviously, we have to go through a revision and a public hearing process, but to consider removing a section of Chapter 110, which regulates our rentals and vacant property registrations in the town. And at the founding, or when this law was amended, in order to, the town board at the time recognized that they needed to protect the housing in the community. So they exempted owner-occupied short-term and long-term rentals from the requirement of having to register and be inspected by the building department. And the first thought in modifying or removing Section E is that, we really want to promote, and having, the staff that's coming on board now to promote fire and life safety practices. And whether a property is owner-occupied or non-owner occupied, we believe, and I believe firmly, that by inviting guests into somebody's home, we should be ensuring that there is some level of fire and life safety, protection there for them. And I can also add that from an enforcement perspective, it makes it a lot more clear and evident to really fully implement the chapter of the code. We're not arguing or differentiating between owner-occupied, non-owner occupied. The code very specifically says to be considered owner-occupied, it's 9 months out of the calendar year. That has to be your primary residence, which can get difficult, problematic in proving that. So I'd like you to take a look at the chapter if you haven't, become familiar with it to some degree. And if you think that and agree that that might be a good position and direction for us to go in, I would appreciate your support in that.
Tom, I have two questions, and the first one the first question may not be a fair question. When the law was originally approved, there was a lot of discussion and debate in the community about this. And the unfair part that I'm asking you, do you know why this law was written like this? That the exemption, what was the thinking behind the board and the community? And they put this in writing, that the exemption from the registration and inspection. Why were they thinking like this? I mean, this is not a mistake. This was done deliberately.
No, it's and I think it's a difficult question, but it's a very fair question. And I think I'd have to go back and I can find the history and I can share it with you. I believe this is a probably recent decision via made from the COVID, the pandemic, and how the housing market shifted at the time. So what we found, and I don't know, Edgar, if you have the memo, but there are currently,
yes, I do have it here.
All right, so we have access to a software via the county has made it available to us. It's Granicus, it's their host compliance. So we have every single short-term listing that's advertised on Airbnb and VRBO, and I think they say that they surf and browse, up to 100 different short-term rental sites. So if it's a short-term rental, we know when it's active, we know when it's listed, we know when it's rented, we know when the post is removed, we know, they identify each address, so we know approximately what location, the short-term rental is. As of last count, we have 190, that's a typo there, I believe it was 191 short-term rentals in the town of New Paltz. 66 of these units are non-owner occupied, meaning somebody lives elsewhere. This is, another property for them and they short-term rent it. There's a majority, the majority of the rentals, 125 are owner occupied, as far as we can tell. And my suspicion is that, it's a way to offset costs, taxes, utilities. I don't begrudge anyone for that. I think it's a nice opportunity for them, but the building department, in our registration process, we charge $400 for an initial registration, which includes an inspection. If it's non-owner occupied, there's an annual $200 renewal fee. We go out and we inspect it full top to bottom.
Is it an inspection of the entire property or just the rental?
Well, if it's a single family house, which the majority of them are, it's the entirety of the property.
Okay, the minor question that I had, you mentioned bed and breakfast, but where does Airbnb come in? And
Short-term rentals.
They're short.
they're both considered short-term rental. You referred to bed and breakfast, but not to Airbnb. Any reason for that?
It was that in the memo there.
Yep.
Yes,
Let's see.
Actually, in our code,
in the
we-
code, it says bed and breakfast.
right, but
Oh,
in our
The
code, we
second
define,
paragraph.
in our code, we define bed and breakfast, motels and that. In our town code, we haven't, all we see about short-term rentals is that they're less than 29 days, but we don't distinguish anything else than that. It's a little bit, we haven't caught up to the rest of.
Okay.
the row.
So it just, if I could step to another, they define bed and breakfast under chapter 110, but if you read the definition, the regulations and the requirements are set forth under the zoning law. There's typically a site plan or a special use permit that's required for a bed and breakfast specifically. So it's not regulated in the same way that a short-term rental would be.
So I have a printout of the law here. Which section is it? Just so I could,
It's 110-3, it's section 3. The definition for bed and breakfast establishment, it gets into the detail there onto where the requirements for that type of establishment are set forth, and that's in the zoning law.
okay, all right, good. Thank you.
Of course, I appreciate your time and consideration. I'm always available if you have any questions. And I would be there in person tonight, but I got some sick kids at home, so I
I
appreciate.
really appreciate the data that you provided here so that the public now knows that we have 191. There were times that we have 300, 400, and so I'm glad to see that we have a hard number here, 191 units in the town of Newport. This doesn't include the village, obviously, but this is the town.
Correct, right.
Okay.
Julie, did you have anything you wanted to add since you have the historical background here?
Well, I don't, I'm trying to reach back in my memory about the rationale. I don't know that we had a long discussion about the rationale. I think it was, I don't want to misrepresent. Were you a part of it?
I think so.
But,
So,
well,
I think it was, we wanted, the problem that we saw was the non-owner occupied where the person may had very little care, probably most don't fall into this.
Yeah.
But, about what happens in something they're not living in. So that was the problem we were trying to solve, and I think it may be that we meant to revisit this, and so, but, taking under your advisement, I think it's, something we should all consider. And I'm glad we have a moment to not have to rush into it tonight, so
Thank you for that.
we can have whether it's here or here. We can just have a little bit, and if anyone has any questions, I assume you're available for that.
Always, my office door is open. You guys have my contact information, so at any time, stop in, send me an email, call, whatever you need to do. I'm happy to kind of walk you through the process, and if you want to see what our day-to-day looks like too, we're there. So
I just have one question, Tom, about the difference between having to inspect just the 66 and now having to do the 191. We have the bandwidth to do that. It won't be a stress on the department.
New people.
with the two new hires that we have coming on board, we can certainly manage that. Between the state required inspections of assembly spaces and businesses, any commercial entities that they're on a 1 year or 3 year cycle, adding the short-term rentals, it's a lift, but I think it's an important lift, and I think it's something that our staff and myself, we're all a team, so we can certainly handle it.
Great.
One thing I would look forward to would be maybe introduce to the general populace if they're considering it, what they need to do to meet the expectations of the town. What's required?
Right.
I have
And what
extra
will be
space to, it would be great to have some,
Like what
Guidelines
the
and
requirements are for
right,
the
that you need
inspection,
to.
like you need a
an
fire,
entrance and an exit, or two, whatever it is.
fire extinguisher or stuff like that, you know.
For sure.
Maybe
Yeah,
even if it was really accessible, that might increase our
Housing.
housing.
Yeah.
And so
Affordable
the
housing.
other thing that maybe we're thinking about, the possibility, that if it's $400 to start and then $200 every year, we might lose some people who think, for one, that's an issue, and for two, they might have to do something that costs money also. You know, but at the same time,
You want
there's
it
a
to be
lot to be
safe,
said
yeah.
for the safety, and
Yeah.
I don't know why, like, from a safety standpoint, why would we exempt either, anyone?
Anybody, yeah.
You know,
I
so,
mean, if it becomes an affordability issue and we get complaints or see that being an issue, then we can reassess the price.
yeah.
I hope they make more than $200 in a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
so we
so-
did,
yeah, go
sorry, I
ahead.
don't want to get weeds here. And I'm happy to provide you, we have access to some of the, we can average out the nightly rates across town, so I can get you that number. Ends up being about 300 to 400 a night for rates. And then I can also provide you with a checklist of items that we look at, you know, during an inspection. So happy to do so.
Okay.
That's
So
your turn.
I think what we're saying is we're not ready to vote on this
Yes.
tonight. We would like to, everybody go do some homework and get some additional information and make sure we really understand it. Tom's going to give us something about the rates so that we understand.
And he indicated that he would run it past the attorneys also. They were changing the law.
Well, that's later. If we vote to
Later.
do it, then we have to have it codified. So it's on us to do that. We have to do seeker in the whole bit. Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know how long this is gonna take, but I think it would be good if we could have this ready to go by the beginning of 2025.
Yeah,
Sure.
for sure.
Right?
Mhm.
So that means-
Everybody starts fresh for the
So
year.
I think we need to be
Sounds like a long time,
prepared
though.
to talk, we need to be prepared to probably vote on it at the next meeting because it
good.
takes time to get it
Yeah.
codified.
Right.
Yeah, it
Vote
doesn't
to
just
do
happen.
it, though.
Okay.
Vote to
Right.
do it. Yeah,
Vote to continue.
very good.
I also was gonna say about the ADU law, is there any difference when it's a not attached dwelling?
Nope.
No, so if I could just, sorry, I don't want to take up too much more of your time.
Yeah.
ADUs are not permitted to be used as short-term rentals.
Okay.
They're subject to renewal of their certificates of occupancy every year. So, of
Right.
Thank
yeah.
you.
course.
That's,
That rang a bell.
that's on
Like-
purpose to provide,
Yeah.
you know, real housing as opposed to, yeah. Okay, okay. Very good. Okay. On. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, we have the next one, authorization to approve the modified 2024 ARPA expenses as follows, and there's the little table. Do I have a motion to authorize to approve the modified 2024 ARPA?
Second, Julie?
I need a motion. Yeah, Julie's gonna motion. Who's
I will
gonna-
motion it.
Second,
Essie.
Essie. All right, any discussion?
Just that it will result in a zero balance.
It has to.
It has to, I know.
Yeah.
So we won't have this anymore,
It's,
obviously.
we won't have it after the end of the year anyway. If we don't spend it,
Oh, so we're under the gun.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
yeah. So this is taking care of what we had left.
Do we want to mention how it's being spent? Like,
It's in the agenda. Yeah, if you want to. It's,
It's almost $500,000.
well, that's the big one is that wheeled excavator for the Field of Dreams. That's a big piece of equipment at the Field of Dreams. Then after that, there's a rototiller. It's a mower. There's the garage at the Field of Dreams to store this stuff in. Yeah, how about that? A cottage for the youth center counseling.
Which we approved already.
We did. The electricity for that cottage. Grinding at the recycle center. This is really important, folks. We have to grind up all the brush and stuff that comes in and all that.
And it goes into the compost.
Yes, it does. Upgrades to the recycle for increased green initiatives. This is to help with the composting there. And
What
then,
exactly would that be?
Jean, it's the paving. Yes. We're paving it to put in this mixer thing that will help increase the productivity of the composting. So instead of being turned by hand, it's an aerator thing. that works.
That was part of the grant, right?
Yeah, but not the paving of it. It was for the equipment. But it was not, it's not level there and they need to have it like, then that was done. And then something called a trommel. A trommel.
It's a piece of equipment that Chris has for money. So you want this stuff,
For dirt.
Let me just buy one.
right?
There's a lot. Has anyone seen the piles of stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, because they had to take up all of that surface and stuff, and dig up, so it's a lot. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Any more questions about the ARPA money?
Just tell the public, this is the end of these federal
Yeah.
funds for the American Recovery Act.
Right,
Hold on.
And much appreciated from the federal government.
absolutely. We did a lot of good things with it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
We do.
okay. Okay, so we had a motion, we had a second, we had discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next, request authorization to increase the adopted 2024 budget for unanticipated revenue as follows.
Mhm.
So here's the table. The police sold some equipment.
Mhm.
There was ARPA funds. There was ARPA funds. I don't know why we didn't, but I guess what we decided to use it for. So I move that we increase the adopted 2024 budget for unanticipated revenue. Do I have a second?
Second, Julie.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Now we get the request to authorization to modify the 2024 budget for cost overruns as follows. We had to move money around in the A fund to cover the cost, some legal attorney fees, a printer, a new printer that the town clerk needed, and some police equipment, $6,000 of which turns out to be 11,500. So we moved money around from some from the contingency, from the police contractual expense, and some from the bookkeeper who takes care of printing and mailing things. So it's moved around in the fund from someplace where it didn't seem to be being spent to where it did need to be spent. That's the kind of management of the budget we are able to do that Jean knows we can do.
Mhm.
Then there was in the DB, that is the town outside the village highway department. Some equipment. So they took for equipment from the contractual expense.
Mm.
Okay. Any discussion? Did I get a, do we have a? I move that we accept this modification of the budget for the cost overruns. Do I have a second?
It's Edgar.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, this one is like, oh, holy moly, okay. This one is the insurance rates. These are for our employees, and it seems there are actually 3 sources of health insurance. There is something called NISHIP, and we don't have those rates yet. They'll come out December. And these other 2 plans, MVP and CDPHP, these are the new rates. Yes, they went up, of course. So these are the rates. The employees are offered, they choose which one they want. Is that correct? So this is what we're able to offer them, as well as NISHIP, which, so they don't have to make their choice until NISHIP's available. Is that correct?
And we make a choice, and we have to go on to use during open enrollment. I was attached to the paycheck.
Mhm.
Oh, we all got one of those. I
Yeah.
didn't bring it for you guys. Okay,
So these numbers are what we pay or what the
no, that's what the employee would pay.
$1,000 a month?
Well,
Or
no,
two
wait,
if you have
let
a
me,
family.
I'm not right.
Just-
The town pays it depending on which union they're in,
Okay, so these
Town
numbers,
pays.
right?
this is what the town pays.
This is what the town pays.
Okay.
Sorry.
And then the employees pay a percentage depending what unit they're in.
10 to 20%.
Okay, thank
Right.
you.
Now, the one thing that the town also does is this thing called HRA, which is health, health reimbursement, yeah. So the deductibles, if you look at the deductibles, this is the max, every year, right? The deductible, but those gets way up there. And so the town helps their employees out by helping to pay some of that.
Yeah.
And I assume that's in contracts somewhere. Yeah, why? Wait, gee.
at a minimum, $10,000 less per year than last year, at a
Oh,
minimum.
oh,
If they take a family plan, it's much more savings. So in order to have more acceptance of NVP and CDPHP and those very large deductibles, the town funds 75% of the deductibles for the employee.
so it's an inducement to take the lower premium, the lower cost, okay.
So,
That 75% covers their most of their health care, unless we have something catastrophic, in which case, once you deductible, the rest of your insurance is free.
The insurance pays for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
so just for the sake of the public, because I'm always concerned about the public. An example here is, MVP plan family is $29.95
Yes,
per month,
Right.
That's right.
yes.
right? And then there is a deductible that we're subsidizing at about 75%, you said?
Up to 3350.
And if people
Over
want to
60.
understand our budget,
Yeah.
you know, this is part of the problem,
That's.
and we can't control this.
And
Thank you.
The only thing we can control is to induce them to take the lower cost plans
Right.
Okay.
by paying some of their deductible.
Well, either way, we're paying, so.
Right. And
Yeah.
so if you know, I mean, I don't generate any deductibles because I don't have any doctor bills and stuff. So my employer wouldn't pay for that because I don't generate it, but some people they do. So it just depends. But it's an advantage to the town. So the math still works out. It's worth it to do it.
Okay.
you know.
Good.
so if they take this, either MVP or CDPHP, the cost of the premium plus the cost of the HRA that we fund, it's still cheaper than that. Just so you're
Mhm.
comfortable with that.
We can get back HRA money that's not spent.
We do?
Yes.
Right, like, just for us, we got very young. We actually save even more money because the HRA is chopped and doesn't really use up.
Right.
Okay, yeah, so if it doesn't get spent, it doesn't go anywhere. It's like it's in your checking account and you didn't write the check, so it's still there. So it ends up in that that balance fund. That money that we can put against next year's taxes, yes. Unappropriated balance fund, yes. Okay. All right, so do we, you know what? Okay.
Leave it. Oh,
Maybe just not, those people don't need to be.
Well, no, because it's part of it. All right. Okay, so we had a, did we have a motion to approve the insurance rates?
So moved.
Second, Amanda, we've discussed it to death. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay. Okay, now this one's got some parts to it, folks. So if you remember at the last meeting, we had the planning director, Dennis Doyle, come
Mhm.
for us to talk about the need to be able to put in a water pipe.
I don't have that here.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay, and so what was being asked for was, so it's a two-part thing because it's on town property. They need to be able to make this hookup
Mhm.
on town property, but their water will eventually come from the village.
Mhm.
Okay, so the first thing that had to happen is that the town of New Paltz would say, yes, we are willing, we will serve, we will allow you to put in your 10-inch pipe the way it was described by Dennis, which he then put in writing for us, because I couldn't remember all the details. And what it would use and that sort of thing. But the really important part here is that it says that even though we are saying we will agree to this, the foregoing consent on the part of the town board is expressly subject to and conditioned upon the separate consent of the incorporated village of New Paltz to furnish water supply necessary to give force and effect to the purpose and intent of this consent. And it will say, and they will have done seeker and these other things. So this is gonna get just a little bit further, but right now, we're doing, the resolution, wait, let's see. The resolution is to enter into agreement with the county of Ulster. And so this is at the regular meeting of this town board on the 7th of November.
Amanda, I'm so sorry, but I interrupt for a second.
Yes, ma'am.
We haven't gotten legal, advisement on this.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes, ma'am.
It's a letter.
That is from our, Moriello wrote this letter for us in consultation with Dennis Doyle. And Will Frank has reviewed it and asked only that that part there be added about the speaker and stuff. The village will do that and, agree to it. So, but this letter right now, we don't have to, it gets signed after, at some point after we do this resolution. And I think we also decided to do,
Roll call.
wait. There was a part. So first, we're doing seeker to say that from our standpoint, this is not having any impact. So
Are we the lead agency?
we are declaring ourselves for this purpose, but the village will do their own. They have to do their own. So we were called to order by me, and now we're going to take the roll call. Rosanna, do you take the roll call?
I can if you like, otherwise you.
Go ahead.
This one is for seeker or for?
This is for seeker.
We declare ourselves lead agency.
It is both.
Oh,
First, we're doing the roll call of who's here.
okay.
Okay, so go ahead,
Just so
Rosanna.
Okay. Supervisor Amanda Gatto,
Here.
Councilmember Julie Seifert Lewis,
Here.
Councilmember Essie Lewis,
Present.
Councilmember Deputy Supervisor Kitty Brown,
Here.
and Councilmember Edgar Rodriguez.
No is the answer until my name is corrected.
What's wrong?
Oh, it's spelled incorrectly.
Oh, it sure is.
That'll be fixed on the final.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay,
But the answer is yes.
the following resolution was offered by council member, who wants to do it? Okay. Gatto. Seconded by council member Seifert Lewis. Okay, and there's a bunch of whereases here about why they want to do it, but the main part of this one is that the town desires to entertain the request for service, and whereas the proposed action by the town board must have any impacts upon the environment determined by a lead agency pursuant to state act and town code, and whereas pursuant to state act and town code, a lead agency must be designated to review the proposed project. Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Newport designates the town board as lead agency to determine environmental impacts. And further, that the town board has compared the proposed action for this part of it on our part in the environmental assessment forms and determined it is a type 2 and no further action is required to be taken under the act. Now we're going to vote. Rosanna, you want to call for the vote?
Sure.
You don't.
Supervisor Amanda Gatto,
Aye.
Councilmember Julie Seifert Lewis,
Aye.
Councilmember Essie Lewis,
I'm abstaining as a employee of the county.
okay. Deputy Supervisor Kitty Brown,
Aye.
Councilmember Edgar Rodriguez.
Aye.
With his name spelled correctly. Okay, great. That takes care of that part. Now, the part that we actually want to vote on is will we sign a letter, or we set forth a letter? Do we have to, okay, we're all present, okay. And this resolution offered by member Gatto, seconded by, see, this is a new one.
New one.
You have to do it. Okay.
I know.
So now the county has requested the town of New Paltz provide a will serve letter as evidence of its consent for municipal water service as an out-of-district user. And that and where it hooks up. And then the estimated water usage. Now therefore be it resolved that the supervisor or the supervisor's duly appointed deputy supervisor, as this case may be, hereby are authorized and directed to sign on behalf of the town of New Paltz a certain will serve letter addressed to Ulster County Planning Department in the form attached, and to sign such other and further documents as are reasonably necessary to give full force and effect to the purposes and intents of this resolution. So this is saying that we will sign a will serve letter. Okay, vote. Rosanna, you want to call for the vote?
Sure. Amanda Gatto,
Aye.
Councilmember Julie Seifert Lewis,
Aye.
Councilmember Essie Lewis,
Abstain.
Deputy Supervisor Kitty Brown,
Aye.
and Councilmember Edgar Rodriguez.
Aye.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Rosanna.
Just for the
Thank you.
interest of the viewers out there. It refers to the Government Operations Center, it's really the emergency services that's gonna be located by the thruway.
They are calling it a government operations center.
Right.
That's the county official name.
Right, and we call it, some people refer to it as emergency services by the thruway.
Yeah, so we should start calling it what they call it.
Right.
Where people will be who are
Doing 911 for the county. They'll have a lot of records there. They will have training there, but there will be staff 24/7. Yeah. Okay. All right, very good. Authorization to approve raising the income limit for low-income seniors exemption. I hope you guys all were able to read this.
Yes.
This is something we were asked about by a member of the public who came and, and it's also already been done by the county. And so our assessor gave us some information and at the end of the day, the current exemption is, we thought it was 37,900, it's 37,390. Not a lot. And there have been as many as 92, and this is for the town, it does not affect the village. And the county's already done their own, but it will affect the people who have some amount of exemption from their property tax for the town and the school, I think. So if we do this, it means that about 10 people will now fall under the exemption, 8 of whom had previously and then incomed out. And it does not mean they don't pay any taxes. It means they get a percentage and there's a formula for it, but it could be as little as 5%. It could be as much as 20%. It depends on how close they are to the limit. So if they're at 49, they only get a teeny bit, but if they're down at 30, they get a much bigger. So
Is that only for property taxes or school
Yes.
taxes? Just
It-
property taxes?
well, it's for school too. And the other thing is they have to be at least 65 years old.
Is it school taxes also?
It's,
I don't ever.
it says this exemption applies to both town, county property tax and school tax bills.
Thank you.
It does not apply to village. Star applies to school tax. That's a state thing. So, and so it's, up until now, it's first of all, you have to be at least 65. And then you could also be disabled or you could be low income. Those are all the ones that have currently fallen into this category. It's not a big change. It's not going to upend our budget by any means.
I move that we make the change, that we raise the limit. And what does it need to be?
50,000.
Yes,
I second that.
raise the limit to 50,000.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. It puts us in line with the county too. so good. Okay, Jeannie. We, authorization approval of the 2024 water and sewer re-levy for the 2025 tax bill. This, what happens is if people are in arrears in paying their water and or sewer bills, it gets added to their tax bill. And there's been a lot of work going on about this in the last few days. So, and this is it's this. Okay. So this is not new. This happens all the time. Every year it happens. And it comes, there's a request that comes in to take care of it, and then it gets taken care of. Do I have a motion to approve the re-levy? These are the folks, these are the counts that are involved.
So moved.
Second, Amanda, discussion? On favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, here we are. Authorization to close the town of New Paltz tax cap override public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Authorization to approve, here we go. Authorization to approve the tax cap override local law.
So moved.
First, we have to do We have to do the,
Oh.
who's here again, because it's a resolution, so.
Mhm.
Sorry, Rosanna, you want to do the head count again?
Okay, Supervisor Amanda Gatto,
Here.
Deputy Supervisor Kitty Brown,
Here.
Councilmember Essie Lewis,
Present.
Councilmember Edgar Rodriguez,
Present.
and Councilmember Julie Seifert.
Great.
Here.
Okay, so I move that we adopt this resolution. I need a second.
Second.
That's Essie. Okay, in local law, does it have a number, Rosanna?
It's number 3 for 2024.
Okay. And it was reduced on the 7th day of November. And the copy has been given to all council members, the intended purpose of which is to override the limit on the amount of real property taxes that may be levied by the town of New Paltz pursuant to General Municipal Law 3-C, and to allow the town of New Paltz to adopt a budget for fiscal year 2025 that requires a real property tax levy in excess of the tax levy limit as defined by General Municipal Law 3-C. And that notice of a public hearing was held on it was actually open at the October, but it was held here too.
So the second resolution that's posted in the portal actually has all of that filled in.
Oh, okay. I don't have that one.
I have it
Okay,
here.
so we have all the dates and stuff, but it was published, thank you. Was held on the 17th of October. Published in the New Paltz Times, in the Daily Freeman, on the 7th day of October. So this says it was Daily Freeman. Okay, we'll change that. I think there was a notice of it though in New Paltz Time later, right?
No, there isn't time to post in the New Paltz Times when you're scheduling it for 2 weeks out, because since it only comes out once a week, there isn't enough time to notice it in the New Paltz
Right.
Times. So that's why it gets put in the Daily Freeman, because it'll come out daily, so there's more time for us to publish it in there.
Okay. I think we did post it on our webpage and stuff like that. Okay,
Definitely.
all right. So, are we ready to vote? Would you like to take the vote, Roseanne?
Okay, Supervisor Amanda Gatto,
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Kitty Brown,
Aye.
Councilmember Essie Lewis,
Aye.
Councilmember Edgar Rodriguez,
Aye.
and Councilmember Julie Seifert.
Aye.
So the resolution was duly adopted. All right, thank you, folks. We now want to close the public hearing for the Town of New Paltz 2025 preliminary budget. Do you have a motion?
So moved, Julie.
Second, Essie.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay, this is the last of our budget discussion. Let's see if I can show this stuff on here. First, I have to go open. Oh,
Does it include this in there automatically or? it's
That's,
separate?
I want to tell you about it, yeah. So now, okay, I think I forgot to send my revised budget slides to this.
yourself?
Yeah, I don't have it. Dadgummit, I worked so hard on them too.
But it's on.
Are you sure it's not on your computer?
Not on this computer. This
But
is
it's
not my
on
work.
the
computer.
other- If we go to the opened up new computer.
Your email's not on here?
No, not my
Your files
supervisor.
are not on?
Yeah, not my supervisor. No, this is not my work computer. This is my home. computer.
Personal. Good
It's
job,
not in the
good job
portal?
separating. Nice job.
It's, I sent.
It's her
it to you
revised.
guys.
You sent it to us?
I don't.
I don't think,
Dadgummit.
Yeah.
it's not on that computer. no?
Yes,
Not
it
on
is.
this computer.
It's on that computer.
But can we?
No, it's not on that
Oh.
computer. It would be, I had to send it to myself and I forgot to do
But you have it on your phone. Sign in on Zoom.
it. I don't think so. I don't think, I just,
Is it in your Microsoft files?
yeah, it's on my hard drive saved as a.
Oh, hard drive, not like OneDrive.
Dadgummit. I have the old one, but I don't have.
And you don't have a hard copy? We could just put it in front of the
You
screen.
know, wouldn't that be good? That would be so good. I hate
Well,
myself.
yeah.
I I
do
would
this all
really
the
not,
time.
don't want your files to be a part of our public records.
I know. Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, so here's what I can
You have
tell
it?
you. There, every,
What is that?
okay, well, okay,
She can
that would,
discuss
that would
them.
help. I mean, I know what they are, but yeah, we
Oh,
can.
but
I was gonna show them the real pretty, remember I did with the colors and all that stuff?
That won't be on the town board website?
no, it's revised one she just did.
And that, oh,
Yeah,
oh.
I just, it
All
was
right.
version 7.7.
It's 9:55. We can just.
Okay, we're
move
gonna
on.
do it. So this is, okay, everything that was there before that you voted on last time, that you agreed to last time is the revised preliminary budget. And it took our tax increase. So we started off with 9.2. We went to, 9.2, then we went to 7 point something. Then we went down to 6.69. Then we went up to 6.87.
So,
And that's where we were. And now we got asked to add a part-time person to the youth program, 15 hours a week at $17 an hour. This was already after the youth program had accounted for the change in the personnel's time already. One person was leaving, another person was decreased, two other people were decreasing their hours. So the budget was already down. And so now we were going to add $13,260 to that budget, part of the budget. So Gina and I went and looked at revenue and said, where could we find anything to match that? And one of the things we looked at was fines and forfeited bail. And it turned out that we had been projecting, because we know last year it was over 300,000. We had projected 270. We said, let's get bold and go to 280. We'll bring in $10,000. So it meant that the whole overall budget only went up by $3,260. So instead of 6.8, or I think it's 6.87.
here it says 6.87.
Yes, that's what it is. So that's what this explains.
Okay.
Okay, so that's where it is now. If you guys agree to that, we heard all kinds of stuff here. No, we didn't hear that much about the budget tonight. But we know as a budget task force and as a board and as the finance group and as your supervisor, we have worked really hard on this budget. And I don't disagree that it should be something we should continue to look at. I think it's evolution, not revolution. We don't turn the table over and upset the whole apple cart in one fell swoop, but we do start to look at
As
efficiency.
a matter of fact, we have a meeting tomorrow morning.
Yes, we do.
11:30.
That's right, we do. We're gonna talk about all of this. What I'm asking you is, are you prepared to adopt this last change? Or do we need to have another special meeting to talk about all this before we turn it in on the 20th of November?
I'm good.
Okay, so do I have a motion to adopt the budget?
Yep. We need to do that first.
Thank you
The
for
re-
reminding us.
This is the revised, okay, so that, all right, so we will increase the youth program 7310.100, which is personal services. In other words, people's by $13,260. And we will increase the revenue from A Fund 980-2610 fines and forfeited bails from 270 to 280,000.
Which is really
Well done.
question.
Question.
Well
Yes,
done.
ma'am.
I was just remembering the court's desire for,
That was already in there. We did that.
Okay.
We did that.
good, the half.
The half person, we did that.
Yeah.
You see, we listened to
That's
everybody.
that brings it up.
And I want you to know, that man out there cut 111,000 from his budget. That man cut 126,000 from his budget. They didn't want to do it. It's gonna hurt. We're gonna find out later where things, what doesn't get done or what we pay more for later. But this is what people were challenged and people did.
Well done.
Everybody.
Joining now. Sophie wants to join? I mean, she's one of our employees too, but
We know.
I don't know. Maybe she wants to hear about this.
Yes.
It's not, and believe me, we didn't just go for the, the bigger budgets had to ask, we asked for more, but everybody went through every hundreds, every thousand here we could get. You can talk to your husband. He does that. Yeah. Okay, but we did You're in, right?
Yeah, I wanted to mute them.
Oh, I think they have to do it themselves. Okay. Okay, so do we accept these changes to the preliminary budget? Do I have a motion to accept these changes?
So moved, Julie.
Second,
Second, let's go.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Do we now have a motion to adopt this as the final 2025 budget? Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Julie, do I have a second?
Kitty?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. It's been a big job, folks. Thank you all. All right, what else do we have on the agenda? Oh, do we need to go into executive session, folks?
Yes.
Okay. I make a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing work history of particular individuals and pending litigation. Nobody else has to stay if they don't want to.
We don't have anything else on the agenda, right?
Right.
Just the liaison report.
Oh, the liaison report.
I mean,
Should we do
just-
that
just-
They're on the.
Yeah, we're good.
they're on record here.
Yeah.
Right.
There's only one, I think.
There's three now.
Mine is there.
Kitty's there, mine's there, yours there.
Okay.
Everybody will catch up eventually. We can talk about that a little bit quickly.
Do we know when the next conversation police act is? Not yet.
Okay, you leaving?
Oh, wait. Yeah, no.
Okay, we're gonna mute this puppy somehow.
I'm just, like one.
All right.
Uh,
I make a motion, we come out of executive session, no action taken.
Second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye. I make a motion, we adjourn this meeting.
Second, Kitty,
All in favor?
I,
All right.
at 11:45.
wow.